Hi guys, Alex Taylor here down at Lytham Golf Academy, and today I'm going to be testing the new P7TW irons. That's Tiger Woods' irons from TaylorMade. Right then guys, if you're new down to the channel, welcome down to Ali Taylor Golf. Hope you enjoy the content that I'm putting out. If you do enjoy the content and you don't already, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Make sure you get my videos as soon as they land. But for years, people have spoken about the equipment Tiger Woods uses as he's gone from kind of Titleist to Nike onto TaylorMade, but it's always been very, very difficult for players to be able to actually play with the product he actually uses. But now, TaylorMade have introduced the iron that is exactly what Tiger's using. So, we'll have a close-up look at the head, talk about what very traditional setup this is, because very, very similar in how it's set up to the clubs he played right from being a kid, but what little bit of technology is in this head. Let's see if I should be using Tiger Woods' irons. Right then, so the P7TW. So this is exactly what Tiger Woods is using. So what Tiger was looking for was a slightly longer blade, but a thinner top line than the current TaylorMade blades. So really, absolutely what he's always played, fits his eye perfectly. Got the lofts of the irons just up on the screen there, and we can see they're very, very kind of traditional, almost weak for what guys would consider now. Now there is, even though this is a blade, there is a tungsten weight kind of in the back of the club to help the flight and control where the CG is on each individual iron. So each of the irons, the sole of the club is CNC milled for absolute precision to make sure this is absolutely perfect and identical to what Tiger requires. I mean, he's renowned for being ultra picky about his equipment, and what you get with one of these clubs is exactly how picky Tiger is to give him exactly what he needs to help him become one of the great iron players in the game. Right then guys, so we saw from the close-up of the head, these are an absolutely gorgeous set of irons. Now as a kid I grew up playing blades, so I always love it when blades are here to test. Still not managed to find one that can kind of go back in the bag, but I think that's more a judgment on me than the clubs themselves. But I'm going to hit some Titleist Pro V1X on TrackMan. We're going to look at how 7-iron performs just as is. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the reasons I really like blades, even if they do or don't perform for me. One reason I would always consider putting them back in the bag. But I'm going to hit half a dozen just normal standard shots and kind of see how they go. For me, they feel absolutely lovely off the face. Really, really soft, but definitely a higher ball flight than I would kind of normally see. Maybe only fractionally higher at peak height, but certainly launches a lot higher than I would normally see with a 7-iron. First one I didn't quite get. Yeah, really like that. Be interesting though, because I saw kind of numbers there, and certainly that first one really dropped off. So let's have a look at the 6 initial shots, and then I'm going to talk about, like I said before, one of the reasons I would consider putting blades back in the bag. Right, so you can see that first one a little bit out the heel with the strike, not a massive amount, but far enough that that's just going to make that little bit of difference. And then as we run through the shots, as the strike improved, we saw really good consistent distances at kind of 165, 163, 161. So we saw some really, really good consistency when I controlled where that strike was better. And overall, me still hitting the ball around the correct distance I should. And we see with the average there, my average carry was still 160 with a good solid strike. Spin a little bit low, but I know that's because I tend to deliver the club a little bit shallow through impact. Right then guys, so we saw on the full shots, pretty good performance. First one, a little bit out the heel. I mean, heartbreaking that such a little strike makes such a big difference with the equipment, but that's what you're getting with blades. But the one reason I would consider putting blades back in is I do like, certainly playing on the Fylde coast in England, blows quite hard, the wind, so I like being able to control my trajectory. And I think with not having a particularly low CG with blades, it should allow me to control that flight and particularly keep the ball down a bit. So let's hit a few and see, even with the loft on this at 35 degrees, can I still keep that trajectory down? So we see the average with the knockdowns, trajectory wise really staying down, me launching the ball much lower at 14.8 degrees. Obviously my technique is changing for that, and even though we see here strike wise wasn't quite as good, and that's where we can again start to see a little bit of inconsistency with those yardages up the left hand side. Right, so we saw with the knockdown shots, I definitely managed to control the trajectory there, really kept that launch angle down. Certainly feel with a club like this that even though there's a lot of loft on that for a 7-iron, really able to launch the ball low. I know with my little knockdown shot, unless I build into my setup, I tend to shape it a little bit to the left. Certainly strike-wise was a little bit out the heel as well, so they weren't my best ones. So the plus point for me with blades is I love that ability to control flight a little bit easier, but the negative is still that thing about if you're not absolutely bang on with your strike, you do lose quite a bit on front to back dispersion. So all in all, I do love these, but I think this is more suited to Tiger's game than mine. Right then guys, so we can see from the numbers there, when I hit them out of the middle, they perform fantastically well for a 7-iron of that loft. I mean, very, very weak nowadays compared to what a lot of the 7-irons are, but because there's not that ultra low center of gravity, you know, you're able to keep that loft on there, still get that nice trajectory and still get a good distance on the shots. But what we do see on that first shot that I hit, this tiny little miss hit, what a huge drop off in distance that you actually get with these irons. So as ever, you know, blades are really aimed at such a small percentage of the market that most of you guys watching probably aren't going to be putting blades in the bag. Some of you guys who are good ball strikers might put blades and might even split a set between a cavity and a bladed iron. At the YouTube Golf Day, they actually had a full set of Tiger's irons, and one of the par 3s, we had the opportunity to actually hit whatever club we needed from 172. On the day, I hit 6-iron, didn't quite get it, hit it in the water just short of the green, but it really, really showed that if I'm bang on my game, I'm not sure I'd put blades through the bag anyway, but maybe 7-iron down. But are these clubs a good iron? They're unbelievable, and some of you guys will want them just to keep it in the presentation box to say that you've got a set of irons that Tiger Woods uses. But other than that, they're not really going to be a set of irons that benefit most golfers and help you play better. It's something a bit different from TaylorMade to release a limited edition players club, and I think I've already know a couple of guys who have ordered sets, you know, and I don't think they're going to play them. They're just going to keep them wrapped up as something special, and if they could get them signed at some point, I'm sure they'll be worth a fortune in the past. But as with any blade, you know, not for everybody, not forgiving, but a really top quality club, manufactured to the perfect specifications of Tiger Woods, and they are a fantastic club, but not for everybody out there. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like and share it. Comment below, I'll get back to as many of you as I can. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, both under Ali Taylor Golf. Hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to make sure you get my videos as soon as they land. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.